really wanted to capture like these musicians off-stage personas. Just slow down and just get them to kind of turn off and say, I'm just going to photograph who you are. I'm capturing your portrait and placing it like within this community of people. So I got into metal, I guess, when my buddy in middle school introduced me to this Christian metal band. I think it's just the expression through this style of music was super cool in it. Even though it's like one of the most aggressive types of music, there was this connection and love for the community that I didn't find in other forms of music. And I wanted to show the rest of the world like why I appreciate these people so much. So Stillwater is a project I started back in 2015. The goal of this was to change people's perceptions about metal, about the people that are involved with it, through photographing this entire community. I shot this project via wet plate because it creates this formality between the subject and myself. You get to take advantage of the amount of detail that you capture in the plates. It makes me want to explore them even more, catch different nuances you don't notice in the smaller images. I first got interested with wet plate when I was in college. There is a photographer down there, and I went to one of his wet plate demonstrations, and I just saw it, and I was instantly hooked. So I go back to my school, ask my professors, hey, if I get a wet plate kit, can I shoot this in the studio and use the darkroom to process? And they're like, no, you can't, because we have to register all these chemicals. So I ended up going back to my apartment bathroom and trying to do this process, which is not the smartest thing to do, but that's what I kind of learned how to do. I think the physicality was one of the big things that drew me into the process in the first place. I was just so excited about shooting something and not looking at a screen. You make it with your own hands, and it has this sense of accomplishment you would never get, at least for me, shooting something digitally. I have to rely on my knowledge and experience to know what I need to make the correct exposure. When you look at a view camera, the image is upside down and backwards, and when you first kind of focus on your subject, it's just like silky yet sharp quality to it. I remember seeing that for the first time. It's like the most razor sharp thing you're seeing on the back of the screen. Most of the time, I get one chance to photograph this person, so I let the subject kind of settle in and really concentrate on how I want to portray them and hone in on who they are. From start to finish, the process takes 25 minutes, so I have to go back and hand make the plate, develop it. There's so many things that can go wrong even after you take their portrait and go back to develop it. Like I've scratched the emulsion because I'm too rough, or like dropped the plate because it was slippery and wet. So you really have to be open to falling flat on your face a couple times. One of my favorite feelings is just knowing that you did everything in your power to make it look good. And you can just tell it's a good plate, like even before it's in a positive state. You can just see from the negative image that's going to be awesome. There is this really special connection you have with the work too, and I think that's why this has been one of my most successful personal projects. But I might want to take it in a different direction, like if I can shoot it in a different environment than maybe the music venue. So recently, I got the opportunity to do a shoot with Erin. She's trying to be the first trans woman to do the 7 summits. When you're shooting out in the field, you can create tons of unique work. And it's just camera, subject, and the sun as your light source. I really love when I get to come back and show them like the fixing of the plate when it turns from this blue negative into a positive image. And it's cool to see their reaction, and a lot of times they're like, whoa, I've just never been photographed that way before. I guess in some ways that's what I was trying to capture, to have someone's guard just completely down and make a portrait of them. I showed the project to people that work at different galleries or photo editors, and a lot of their responses were, I just don't grow tired of looking at these portraits, and I just want to know more about these people. I think at the end of the day, there's like this universal thing that I'm trying to capture in everyone, and I'm really interested in seeing the humanity that comes out in these portraits.